welcome to Stitch Walks. My name is Rachel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made the apple. This is the apple of wisdom. So this is fully embroidered, 6 panels with different embroidery on each one. I have chosen to use reds and pinks. You can do it all one colour if you want to. You can do greens, you can do whatever you like. The pattern will be in the book Magical Embroidery, which is due for publication this year, 2026. It's quite detailed, but it didn't actually take that long. I did shoot the video over several days, but that was because I only had a few hours each day to work on it. But all in all, it wasn't a lengthy project. But you can see it's got a leaf, a stem. So I'm going to talk you through it, warts and all. It does remind me very much of the apple in Snow White. It's quite magical. And this is for knowledge. Excuse me, I'm very croaky. I've just got over a virus, and I'm so croaky. This is for knowledge and wisdom. One thing I've learned when I was doing this is that I do need a very long needle to go all the way through the core of the apple in order to pull these pieces in. So that is part of my my wising up. So for the resources that I show you in the beginning, I don't show you a very long needle, but if you have one, use it for the end part where I squash the piece down and pull the thread through, because that's very useful, because I didn't have one at the time, but I will have one for the next apple I make. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you at the end. So here's all our equipment for the magical apple. Felt, I'm using felt in different reds. You can do greens or whatever colour you like. My needles, a big one for the embroidery and a smaller one to go through the beads, sharp scissors, threads, contrasting and matching colours, the pattern sheet found in the book, and a selection of beads and some clips which will help you with the assembling the apple. So for this whole apple, we're just using 3 different stitches. So we're using the back stitch for the stems, a chain stitch for the loopy leaves, and we're going to be using a whip stitch around the edges to assemble the piece. So the back stitch, you're starting with a running stitch, and then you're missing a stitch, and then going back into the previous hole, and that's going to form a nice line without gaps to create the stems. So all the lines and the scrolly bits are going to be back stitch. For the loopy bits, we're doing a chain stitch. So for the chain stitch, we're just going up the base of the loop, back down, just about really into the same hole again. You come up at the end of the loop on the line, take your thread round, don't pull too tight, and then a small securing stitch at the end. There we go. Don't forget to be stitching in your intention while you're doing this. So with all your stitches, think about what it is you want to be manifesting. So for me, with the apple, I want to be manifesting an aid to my studies, so better clarity of mind, retention of information, wisdom, the application to use what I've learnt in my daily life. So all of these things, whatever it is you need, whether you're studying for a course or pleasure, whether you just feel you need more wisdom in your life, whether you're reading and learning from the internet or whatever it is you're doing, just stitch that intent into there. So visualize yourself with the knowledge and the qualifications that you need, and how you're going to use that. That's the important thing also, is not just what you're gaining, but what are you gaining it for? What do you need it for? How is it going to enhance your life? So the apple of wisdom, apple of knowledge. When I finish this back stitch, as you can see, I've decided to do the back stitch on these big loops rather than the chain stitch here. I just think it looks a bit neater than a big loop, but you can do either. Now ready for the beading. So the beading is, these are the smaller beads, so I'm using 4mm and 3mm beads. For the big circles, the circle in the middle, this is a sequin with a small bead that holds the sequin on. So I should be adding all these in now. All the beads are on. I've just sewn them on with two strands of cotton, just ordinary red cotton. As you can see, it's not very neat at the back, but we're not going to see it, so it doesn't matter. As long as these are all very secure, make sure you've got them nice and secure. Because when you come to dissolve the stick and stitch, which is my next job, there will be one layer less on this. So make sure all the beads are nice and secure and tight. While I'm waiting for the soaked sections to dry, the red sections for the apple, because the stick and stitch has now been washed off those, I'm going to be doing the stem, and sorry, I'm concentrating, can't get this off. Anyway, so I'm going to be doing the stem. This is tricky. And the base of the apple. I'm just using some bits of scrap here, so I've got brown for the bottom of the apple and the stem, and some brown thread, and a nice bright green for the leaf. So I'm just going to stick these on. I won't put you through me trying to get this off again. That's purgatory. But I'll come back to you and I'll show you when I've got them all cut out. So these pieces are ready now. I'm just doing a running stitch up here through the centre. So I'm just following these lines across, so that's nice and easy. I've taken the stick and stitch off these because I don't really need them now. I've got the shapes cut out, so very gently pull it off so you don't stretch the felt. I'm just using a lighter green, and I'm following the stitch marks along, and I shall soak this off the same as the apple pieces. All the embroidery pieces are now washed of the stick and stitch, and they're all dry. The leaf is dry. I have started assembling this, but I'm going to be showing you what I did. So basically you're matching up all the wider pieces of the segment, so it's not the same. This is narrower and this is wider, so the wider bit, all the wider bits go together at the top, and then I have just whip stitched all the pieces together using a similar kind of colour to the felt. I've got one piece to go, so there's 6 pieces in all. I've got one piece to go left. One piece to go left. What does that mean? That's not grammatically correct, is it? One piece left to go. And what I'm doing is I'm just using these clips. You can use pins. I've actually just bought these and I'm finding them really helpful. So you just clip it together. I'm going to use 3. So you're matching up the edges. So you're just over sewing, so you're just matching up so it's all the right way round. And then I'm using some red thread just to stitch all the way down. So my whip stitches are probably about a couple of millimetres apart. I do this quite slowly because it's very easy to make it look quite untidy. Different size stitches and different measurement of gap between, so go slowly. Take note of where your needle's going in and coming out. This is your whip stitch, so it's pretty easy. You're just going over and over. You just need to just be aware of needle placement. Decide how big you want your stitches and what spacing you want, and then stick to that right the way across the project. I'm using 3 strands of thread, as I have done through all the decorative embroidery. For the beading I've only used 1 strand doubled and knotted at the end, just because it's easier to get through the beads. Each of the pieces are now sewn together, apart from I've left a small space to fill the apple. So I'm just using ordinary toy filler for this. I'm going to pack it quite tight because I want the apple to be nice and round. Roundish anyway. Apple shaped. So once your apple's stuffed, just secure your thread again and stitch it up in the same way that you've done the rest of the whips. Just add a couple more little stitches in the base of your apple, just to close up the bottom of it so there's no gaps. Then that will be attached with a bead a little bit later on. So for the apple stem, just use your rectangular piece of little felt that you cut out, the little brown piece, roll it and then secure it with some pins or your clips so that the edge is exposed that you're going to be sewing, and then just whip stitch along the edge. So you're just sewing the piece together, not with a knot in your thread though, because that doesn't help. This is keeping it real. Right, so now we're going to put this stem into the apple. So this is the stem all sewed up. And the top of the apple is the wider part. I know that seems obvious, but it's very easy to make a mistake when you're busy concentrating on something else. So make a little gap inside your stuffing. Insert your stem in probably about 1.5 centimetres, so about 1/2 inch. so that you've got about 1 inch of it sticking up over the top. And then we're going to secure it in. Just got some pre-knotted stuff here, thread here. I'm just going to pass it through the apple itself and then into the stem, and then come out the other side into the other segment of apple. And then back in again, back into the stem, and then through the other segment of apple. So you're basically just putting some little tiny stitches in all the way around, just to secure the stem into the apple. So just secure your leaf to your apple with a couple of little stitches. Put it right up next to your apple stem. You can even add another couple up there if you wish. So I'm just going to put another little one just in here, just to stop it flapping about quite so much. Make sure they're tiny. Okay, and then just secure it underneath the leaf. Trim these bits off. Any loose threads, you don't want those. Nice and tidy. Now then, so we're going to be attaching this to the bottom. We're going to be passing a thread all the way through the apple, because we're going to want to use that to tighten this and give the apple shape. So with your little piece that goes at the bottom, just pass your thread through the bottom so that you've got your knot on one side, and then on the side that the knot isn't, put your bead. I've got a little brown bead, and then go back in and just secure that with another stitch so your bead's nice and tight and secure. And then your needle, go into the bottom of your apple, come all the way up through, right up near your stem. It's not easy. If you've got a nice long needle, it's even better, but I haven't, so I've only got this little stubby one. And then pull that sorry, that's my dog. That's my titch making a lot of noise. And I go back in down through your stem. Out the other side, and then go back in again, the other side of the apple, and then push it all the way through again so that you come out the middle again. Careful of your fingers. I want to come up through the centre of your core. I think this is the trickiest bit, and then you put it tight, and as you put it tight, see, it all sinks in the middle, and this bit sinks down, and then go 3 bead, and then secure that in again. So my dog throwing herself at the door. Why does this never happen to other people when they're trying to do tutorials? And I put another couple of securing stitches in and then snip it off. And there it is. All done. Thank you so much for watching and staying to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you do. Next week I'm going to be working on a hair for transformation, change, acceptance, acceptance of change. So that should be quite a nice one to do. I'm looking forward to doing it, and hopefully I'll see you next week. So bye for now.